Good evening and welcome to the July 21st, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board. I'll officially call the meeting to order. I'm going to ask that everyone please rise for the pledge. And this evening we have the honor of having some members of the Penfield softball team here who are going to lead us in the pledge. So ladies, when you are ready. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you, ladies. All right, I'll ask that we please call the roll for the evening's meeting.
Draw.
Here.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Present.
Moore.
Here.
Ockenden.
Here.
All present.
All right. And we'll let the minutes reflect that Sue Scheidt, Deputy Town Clerk, is with us this evening. Thank you, Sue. And of course, the esteemed Richard J. Horowitz, our Town Attorney. So again, welcome. Let's start with the communications and announcements. I'll first recognize Councilperson Draw.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I just have one announcement tonight. I want to remind people that the Penfield Amphitheater events and concerts are still going on right behind the Town Hall here in the Amphitheater and Kiwanis stage at 3100 Atlantic Avenue. And let's see, the next concert coming up on July 27th is Frank's Rat Pack. And those concerts are from 6:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday night. So there's still quite a few. There's 4 more left for the summer. So come on out. It's been beautiful Tuesday nights. I think we've, Mr. Supervisor has called the weather for us I don't think we've had one rain out. So
Yeah, we got a little
bit.
last night.
A little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But for the
we got
most
a half
part.
a show.
So come on out and enjoy it. It's free for everyone. And thank you.
All right. Mr. Ockenden.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I do have one announcement tonight. This is from the Penfield Fire Company. It's currently conducting a membership recruitment drive and is in need of additional men and women to serve our community. The Penfield Fire Company protects roughly 30 square miles and covers a majority of the town of Penfield along with a portion of the town of Perrington. Their volunteer firefighters provide fire suppression, rescue operations, supplemental emergency medical support, fire safety education, as well as a variety of other services to our community. They respond 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to help their neighbors during their time of need. Many of their volunteers join without any previous experience, so don't let that stop your interest. Their training programs are designed to fully educate all new members. Representatives from the fire company would enjoy the opportunity to meet with you and talk further about what it takes to become a volunteer firefighter and to discuss the many other opportunities the Penfield Fire Company has to offer. If you're 18 years of age or older and have a desire to serve your community in a very rewarding fashion, please visit their website at www.penfieldfire.org and click on the volunteering tab for further information. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And for those that may not know, Mr. Ockenden is our current fire chief for the Penfield Fire District. So thank you, Bob, for all that you do. Mr. Moore?
No announcements tonight. Thank
right.
you.
No announcements.
All right. I have one short announcement. The towns of Irondequoit, Penfield, and Webster invite you to a public Stop the Violence Mission Collaborative on which is a march on Wednesday, the 28th. That's next Wednesday at 6:15. It's going to be at North Ponds Park in Webster. This is one of the several community forums that's hosted by Uniting and Healing Through Hope of Monroe County, whose mission is to unite community together to take a strong stand against violence. All are welcome. Participants will walk the loop at North Pond Park. Those that are unable to march are invited to come and attend the activities at 7 p.m. Refreshments will be available. So with that, anybody that is interested, please think about joining in. With that, we will move on to public participation. We have a couple of different groups and individuals that would like to speak. I'm going to first recognize Kelly Aiken with some exciting things that she and members of the team and coaches and parents have been working on. So, Kelly, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Supervisor LaFountain and Town Board members. Thank you so much for taking the time and attention this evening to listen to what we have to say. I'm here tonight to ask for your support and immediate action to put into place improvements to bring equality to the Penfield Little League softball program. My husband and I, Dan, we raise our 5 kids just a stone's throw away in Newberry Park, right across from the softball complex. And we have 2 boys, 3 girls, all of who have played in Penfield Little League throughout multiple years. Our oldest is now 18, so it goes back years and years for us. Together, along with the 3rd coach, we coached one of the 12U softball teams and are currently coaching the girls' 10U softball team, which, by the way, recently won the District 4 championship, and we are currently competing in the 10U state championship here in Brighton. So a little plug for our team. We actually play tomorrow night in Brighton at 6 o'clock, which is really exciting. If we make it all the way, we'll reach the semifinals and final game on Sunday. So, yep, it's amazing. As a coach for young female athletes, in addition to the rules of the game and the sport, I try to create a positive atmosphere and environment for them and instill in them the confidence of the sport and life in general. This is extremely hard to do when they aren't given the same things the boys are given. They're not given the same equipment, they're not given the same access to incredible facilities, and even something as simple as a bathroom. Would you believe that for 140 girls and their families, they share one porta potty? It's sad. My husband, Dan, will now talk about the plan and the petition we submitted and go into more detail.
Great. Ellie, thank you. Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. I would like to just hand out this petition while I walk through a few things, just so you have it in your record. I'll just pass this along. If you could hand those out, that would be great.
Great, thank you.
About a month ago, we had an opportunity to sit down with Supervisor LaFountain and just talk through, what we had as far as concerns. In that past month or so, it's probably only been about a month, we were able to get out a petition that is in front of you and gathered about 500 signatures. There's quite a few in there in the comment section. I would encourage you to read them. It's very encouraging to see some of the comments. We won't go through all of those. I think Kelly at some point will highlight just 2 or 3 of them that we'd like to share with you because they're pretty poignant. But if you look at the front page of that petition, we're really asking for 3 very simple things. One is to install perimeter fencing around the 2 existing fields that are out there today. Currently, Penfield Little League softball program, when they host tournaments, has to rely, I believe, on the town to go out there and set up temporary fencing. So they're putting it up, they're taking it down, they're doing that a couple of times a year. So we would like to be able to do permanent fencing. Installing permanent fencing will help us also install a 3rd field. And if you flip to the last page of the 8.5 by 11 packet, there is a plan put together demonstrating what it is we're looking for, right? So those are 2 relatively modest amounts. The bigger ask really, and we certainly understand the investment, but the bigger ask is probably the larger need, which is if you look out there right now during this meeting, there are probably 300 individuals, kids and parents out there vying for a single porta potty. They're a quarter mile plus away from the permanent bathroom facilities that the boys have use of. So that's really the 3rd ask is to get public water and sanitary sewer in a permanent structure there so that, quite honestly, we have creature comforts that I think are not too much to ask. So that's what we're asking. We put this petition out in 2 different forms, going door to door in a paper format and then also electronically and combined. Like I said, there's approximately 500 signatures that we've gained. As you'll look through, you'll see some names that you definitely recognize. Former Supervisor George Wiedemer signed and provided some great comments. We've also received the attention and support of Monroe County Legislator Paul Dondorfer. I believe he submitted a letter to the town. So we're really here tonight because unfortunately, to date, the calls for making improvements to the softball fields and facilities fallen on deaf ears. Those fields have been there for decades. It has taken up until about the last 4 or 5 years, I believe, for them to even get dugouts that resemble dugouts. There are not a whole lot of improvements. I think the thing that has frustrated us a little bit is even on the Penfield Little League's most recent capital improvements program on their website, where they're raising funds, and that's on the very last part of that attachment I provided you. You will see they have a very extensive capital campaign going, and that is to make improvements to things such as Rosie's Cafe, new bathroom facilities, perimeter fencing replacements around the existing fields. There's about 13 boys fields and only 2 softball fields. So I think the girls make up about 20% of the total enrollment for Penfield Little League. It's about 140 girls and a total of 740 roughly total enrollment. The enrollment fee is the same, whether you're a female or you're male. We're simply asking that those resources be allocated in a more appropriate manner. And we're very hopeful that this board can take action and inspire those improvements to take place, because left on their own, it's very demonstrable that they will not. So that's really the ask. Ask Kelly to come up and just read through a couple more of those comments. There's 3 of them, and I think that's really it. It's pretty short and simple. I think if you were to go out there and take a look at the difference in the facilities, we don't need to hammer it home. It's very noticeable. So I really appreciate your time and your attention this evening. Thank you.
Well done,
Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
As Dan had mentioned, there are quite a few comments that I obviously encourage you all to read through. A couple in particular that I wanted to draw attention to that really speak for everybody, and it's very powerful to hear this. Both of my daughters have played Penfield softball, and both have recognized the inequality between what they get versus the boys/baseball. This directly sends the message that they have less value and their sport has less value. Penfield has long prioritized boys' sports, and it's time that changed. Parents of girls pay the same tax dollars, and our children deserve an equal sports experience. Not complying with this change makes you complicit in a long-standing oppressive system for girls and women. The next comment. It's so sad that in 2021, I am still answering questions from my daughter as to why her younger brother's PLL baseball program gets things that she doesn't get in softball, including better facilities, live broadcasting of games, more fields and batting cages, bathrooms with running water, appropriately sized uniforms that fit with names and numbers ordered for specific individuals, trophies at the end of the season, a board that is updated with standings for all to see and celebrate. I pay the same amount of money for my son and my daughter, so it's certainly not a lack of funds. It's simply how they are being allocated. Out of 16 D4 major softball teams, the championship game ended up being a battle of 2 Penfield teams, which is pretty incredible. Additionally, all 3 Penfield major softball teams made it to the top playoff bracket, yet not a word of any of this was shared. Softball will also be sending 2 teams into the districts and then hopefully the state tournament, which obviously this is an old comment because this is happening now. Our major softball team made it to the championship game. Unfortunately, they lost against South Orangetown, but an incredible accomplishment that's not recognized. Again, none of this has been shared or celebrated. I do, however, have multiple emails naming every boy that achieved all-star status and tried out for the baseball states team. We need to do better for our girls. Getting them the proper facilities is just the bare minimum and only the beginning. Our girls deserve more. And then the last comment I will share, simply, the inequity between the softball fields and boys' Little League fields is extremely disappointing, and it's disturbing for our community. And that pretty much sums it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. Anyone else that would like to, Ginny?
Yep.
All right, come right on up. And for the record, if you, not,
Will do.
most everybody knows who you are, but
Well.
for those viewing audience.
Okay, my name is Jenny McCullough, a Penfield resident living at 49 Valley Green Drive for 42-plus years. And I am here in support of the request for additional facilities for the girls and young women's softball. And in context, back in the middle 80s, beginning 90s, I was a Pixie coach for the girls. So I do have some context of what the facilities we had to play on back then, and not a heck of a lot better in 2021. Okay, so if you all, we all, look at the baseball, softball facilities in the town, there is a blatant disparity between what the boys, young men are given as opposed to what the girls, young women are given. And quite honestly, I will say this, the school district isn't much better. When my granddaughter was put on this cow patch of a field to play last spring, and whereas you look over to the school, you see this wonderful, beautiful field with fences and stands for the boys' baseball team. It is not right in either regard. So a similar situation exists in the town, a blatant disparity in facilities. Now, the group petitioning you tonight would minimally appreciate equal standings in facilities. Proper fields with fence demarcation would be number one. Also, it would, as we've talked about, it would be real nice to have an actual simple rest station with plumbing, sinks, electricity, maybe even a window. Who knows? And the plan also shows rooms for an additional field to be shaped, and I think these improvements might help to secure a tournament or two in the town of Penfield instead of us girls having to go all over the place to, be involved in the tournaments. And so now I have a different perspective on this whole subject because of my age. I have always been active in the cause of women's equality. When Title IX passed in 1972, I was 26. You would think that strong action such as that would open doors. Well, it did, and it does. But the powers to be kind of forget that people are looking. They become complacent. Nothing happens. You have good intentions. You think everything's accomplished for you, but that's not the case. So I want to point out that the town of Penfield has this incredibly talented, my granddaughter being one of them and Kelly's kids being one of them too, of proper facilities as any young man in this town. And I will reiterate what Kelly said. We pay equal tax. We pay equal this. We equal everything. It is not right. And I ask you guys, do not hedge and haw, just do it. Do not have something as our Title IX and have a massive infrastructure and whatnot go on for the women and then say, well, we did it, we're done. Don't do it. I implore you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I hadn't heard Pixie in a lot of years, which shows my age. So, all right. So, ladies, I know you're not all shy. If I were to talk to your parents, they would say that you're just very active, you're very outgoing, you're wonderful representatives of the community. How would one of you or several of you like to chat about this particular topic? Come on, come right up. Have a seat, please. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Natalie Bielitz, and I play for the Penfield minors and major softball teams. And I just think that as a player that, it's just unfair that the boys get to play in the nice fields where there's just a lot of differences. There's a lot of, All right. So,
There's more amenities,
yeah.
right? More things for them than there are for the girls in the softball.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you being brave to come up and to chat with us about this because it is a very important topic. I will take a minute and I will look across, and with us this evening is the next Penfield Town Supervisor, and I know she has a lot of interest in this topic as well. And when I exit 12/31 and she comes on the job at 1/1, she will be picking up what I would expect a lot of good things that will be underway. And I know she's very supportive and very committed to all of these types of activities to help the program and make it even better as we move forward. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here, and good luck. Anyone else? Yes, please, come right up.
Hi, my name is Bridget Emling, and I play for the softball team as well. And for this topic, I think that just because we're different genders doesn't mean that the boys get more equipment, facilities, and different stuff than the girls get. And since it's come to attention, that would be really nice because it hasn't been like that for many years, and we'd like to change that.
Okay, great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. I know you've got a lot of things going on, I'm sure, this summer, and you're preparing for a big game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you guys do very, very well. Looking forward to that. All right. Anyone else? Yes, please come right up. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Claire Malley, and I also play for the Penfield 10U and 12U teams. And I don't think it's very fair that the boys get so much more money, more investment into their fields, their facilities and stuff, where, like, as Dan has said, our fields, they've been around for decades, have 0 to minimum changements. And that should be changed because, yeah, like, just because we're different genders does not mean that we should be treated unfairly.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for being so brave to come up and speak to the board and let us know your feelings. Anyone else? I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, very good. Kelly, Dan, do I have others that I saw hands up? Oh, Marie Sinti, please come forward, Marie.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Marie Sinti, and I do strongly support these girls. I also wanted to just extend my gratitude to them for their bravery, for coming up. I know it's always hard to speak out about things, but I applaud them for their efforts, and I also want to wish them luck tomorrow's game.
Excellent. Thank you, Marie. Thank you very much. Okay. Others? All right. Dan Kelly, any additional or added comments that you'd like to?
No, unless there's any questions for us, but I think the petition speaks for itself. I think it's very noticeable, the difference, and again, we just appreciate everybody's time and attention to this, and would love to see some action sooner rather than later.
Okay.
So, appreciate it.
So this is a great point. This is Mr. Horowitz. Did I see your?
Just had a question.
Okay, great, Mr. Horowitz.
Interrupt.
No, go right ahead.
So I noticed in the materials, there's a discussion about either a pending or upcoming substantial capital fund drive. Could you tell, perhaps, give us information and maybe information to the listening public about the fund drive?
I would love to. I don't know a whole lot about it, though, Mr. Horowitz. This is a capital campaign that is run through Penfield Little League itself, and so the theory is that it would benefit all of Penfield Little League, boys and girls. I think the thing that brought us here, in part, is that within that campaign and the items that are listed, there are 7 very specific items. There are none of those that appear to benefit the girls' softball facilities. So while I encourage everybody to participate in that campaign, I would certainly encourage the Penfield Little League organization to attribute an appropriate amount of funds to the softball facilities and not just to the boys' baseball facilities.
Thank you.
Okay. So I started to say that next step, the next opportunity that the board will discuss this will be next Wednesday, and at our work session. Our work sessions are open to the public. You have the ability to come to listen to the discussion of the board. If you have cable TV, channel 1303 is the opportunity. Or for all you techie folks, I'm looking at the young people now, all you techie guys like my granddaughters, everything's online, so they watch it through their phone and iPads and things like that, but you'll be able to watch that streaming video overall. I will also tell you that Mr. Valentine, who's our town engineer and director of planning, and a member of his team, Mike O'Connor, have been playing with the computer. Mr. Aiken was kind enough to submit some materials to us. They have taken that and kind of have blown that out in a little bit more detail, and we're going to present that next Wednesday as part of the conversation that we have. I think when we met, and it was exactly, I think it was the 23rd of June, that we met, and one of the things that I shared with Mr. and Mrs. Aiken is that approximately 2 years ago, this building finally went on sewers. We did not have sewers at this building, and the sewers run right down adjacent to the roadway or parallel with the roadway in that area, which makes that whole potential effort a lot easier because sewers are available and you don't have to go through. And Mr. Aiken, as an engineer, knows that connecting to the sewer is a lot easier than putting in a septic system, especially a septic system that this campus sits on a lot of rock. And so putting in the sewers definitely is an easier lift than maybe building out a septic system. So I would encourage you to stay tuned for the meeting next Wednesday night if you have the opportunity. Anybody is welcome to join us, and we would look forward to that. And ladies, best wishes to you here over the next few days. I know you guys are going to give it your best, and we'll be keeping an eye on you and how you're progressing through that, and hopefully playing right through till Sunday. Which is the goal, right, to be able to play through Sunday. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your willingness to have this conversation with us. I will say that your parents should be very proud of all of you, not only for what you're doing here sports-wise, but I would guess that all of you are great students and are good representatives of your school district, of your family, and of your community. So thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Kelly and Dan, thank you. Jenny, thank you. And then any of the moms and dads that have joined us and siblings, thank you for being here in support. So, great. All right. You're welcome to stay. We do a lot of very exciting things here that we guarantee not to put you to sleep, but we also understand that everybody has other things to do. So feel free to head back home, enjoy your families, enjoy the pool, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you.
Thanks,
Good luck.
everyone.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kelly, this is an extra. I know that these become valuable, and we don't want to waste it. I think everybody's got one, so great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job. Nice to see you.
Okay, I'll look to our board. Any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? All right, seeing none. We do have the June 16th, 2021 minutes before us, and I would entertain a motion of approval of those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilperson Ocken and seconded by Councilperson Draw. Any discussion on those minutes? A roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
All right, thank you. Our next item are petitions. Has the town board, town attorney, or town clerk's office received any petitions since our last get-together?
If not.
Okay,
Just the one we
great.
got tonight.
Except the one that we do have tonight, so thank you, Linda. Yes, so we've got that. I'll let the minutes reflect that during public participation, I had no other speakers either from an email standpoint or from a call-in standpoint. There is one more opportunity to address the board on any topic. That's at the end of the agenda. You can do that now one of three ways. You can do that in person if you're here in the audience. You can call in at 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org. And with that, we'll move on to resolutions by function, starting with Law and Finance, please, Sue.
Approval of issuance of a conditional use permit to allow a nutrition and fitness office and chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250.5-10D5 of the Code to allow a nutrition and fitness office and chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road in Four Corners zoning district. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on July 7th at 7 p.m. on said date to hear and consider said application and hear all persons interested in the question of the issuance of this conditional use permit. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant's request for a conditional use permit to allow a nutrition and fitness office, a chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, there are 7 conditions. All 7 with this application, or I should say resolution, are consistent with what we typically see in the Four Corners zoning district and similar types of resolutions that come before this board.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Discussion. See no further discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Approval of issuance of a conditional use permit to allow a hair salon at 2094 5 Mile Line Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250-5.10-B4 of the Code to allow a hair salon at 2094 5 Mile Line Road in the Four Corners zoning district. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on July 7th at 7 p.m. on said date to consider the application. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant's request for a conditional use permit to allow a hair salon at 2094 5 Mile Line Road is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. Again, Mr. Supervisor, there are 7 conditions. All 7 are consistent with this type of an application in the Four Corners zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Further discussion, board? See no further discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider issuance of a conditional use permit to allow a restaurant with outdoor dining at 1776 to 1778 Penfield Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit to use permit pursuant to Chapter 250-5.10D2 of the Code to allow for a restaurant with outdoor dining at 1776 and 1778 Penfield Road in the Four Corners zoning district. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on August 18th, 2021 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider said application and to hear all persons interested in the question of issuance of this conditional use permit to allow a restaurant with outdoor dining at 1776, 1778 Penfield Road in the Four Corners zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Further discussion? See no further discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement to allow a shed within a storm sewer easement at 71 Jewelberry Drive.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement with the residents and owners of the property at 71 Jewelberry Drive to permit a portion of a shed to encroach into the storm sewer easement to the Town of Penfield located at 71 Jewelberry Drive in the form and substance acceptable to the Penfield Town Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? See no further discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement to allow a fence within a storm sewer easement at 39 Saldo Lane.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement with the residents and owners of the property of 39 Saldo Lane to permit a portion of a fence to encroach into the storm sewer easement to the Town of Penfield located at 39 Saldo Lane in a form and substance acceptable to the Penfield Town Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement to allow a fence within a sanitary sewer easement at 11 Beechbrook Lane.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a license and hold harmless agreement with Timothy J. and Bonnie H. Whelan, owners of the property at 11 Beechbrook Lane, to permit a portion of a fence to encroach into a sanitary sewer easement to the Town of Penfield located at 11 Beechbrook Lane in the form and substance acceptable to the Penfield Town Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to retain counsel to commence an action against Sean and Jennifer LaRose.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town of Penfield has a claim against Sean and Jennifer LaRose that has not been resolved despite due demand. Now therefore be it resolved that the law firm of McConnell, Considine, Kumin, and Moran be and is hereby retained as legal counsel to prosecute any and all claims against the LaRose.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Excuse me. Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorize the supervisor to enter an agreement for consulting services for ARPA.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town of Penfield engages the professional auditing and accounting services from Bonadio and Company. Whereas the town has received an engagement letter from Bonadio and Company to provide professional consulting services related to the American Rescue Plan Act and the funds received from the federal government. Now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to sign and accept and execute said engagement letter at a cost not to exceed $5,000 upon review and approval of the Penfield Town Attorney.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to grant the State of New York authority to perform a sanitary sewer manhole adjustment for the owner and agreeing to maintain facilities adjusted via state-let contract.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the New York State Department of Transportation proposes the construction, reconstruction, or improvement of the Pedestrian Safety Action Plan Phase 2, various locations in Region 4, PIN 40PS.02.301. And whereas the state will include as part of the construction, reconstruction, or improvement of the above-mentioned project, the adjustment of approximately 1 sanitary manhole elevation pursuant to Section 10, Subdivision 24 of the State Highway Law, as known on the contract plans and utility special note relating to the project and meeting the requirements of the owner. And the service life of the relocated and/or replaced utilities has not been extended. And whereas the state will provide for the reconstruction of the above-mentioned work as shown on the contract plans and utility special notes relating to the above projects. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield, acting as commissioners of the Penfield Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District, do hereby approve of the adjustment to the sanitary facilities and the above-mentioned work performed on the project and shown on the contract plans relating to the project, and that the Town of Penfield Department of Public Works will maintain or cause to be maintained the adjusted facilities performed as above stated and as shown on the contract plans. Be it further resolved that the town supervisor has the authority to sign, with the concurrence of the town board and the review of the town attorney, any and all documentation that may become necessary as a result of this project as it relates to the Town of Penfield Department of Public Works. And be it further resolved that the Director of Public Works of the Town of Penfield is hereby directed to transmit 5 certified copies of this foregoing resolution to the New York State Department of Transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seems like an awful lot of words for adjusting a manhole.
It does.
But welcome to the state of New York. Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to sign a professional service agreement for an LED street lighting conversion audit.
So moved.
Second.
The Town of Penfield currently owns approximately 470 Cobra head style and 330 decorative style street lights throughout the town. And whereas the Town of Penfield has considered upgrading and converting the said street lights to LED fixtures. And whereas Real Term Energy US LP has provided a proposal to provide professional services to perform an audit of all existing Cobra head and decorative street light fixtures owned by the Town of Penfield. And whereas the Town of Penfield Town Board discussed the proposal at a work session on July 14th, 2021, now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor be and hereby is authorized to sign a contract not to exceed $34,000 with Real Term Energy US LP for their professional services. This resolution and the proposal submitted by Real Term Energy shall constitute the contract, this agreement to be reviewed and approved by our town attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? See no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Amendment to Resolution 21T-141, authorization to grant a utility easement to Rochester Gas and Electric Corporation at 1164 Wayland Road.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Resolution 21T-141, adopted on July 7th, 2021, for the authorization to grant a utility easement to RG&E at 1164 Wayland Road, did not include the reference to requiring a 30-day permissive referendum. So now, therefore, be it resolved that Resolution 21T-141 is hereby amended to be subject to a 30-day permissive referendum period, and the town clerk be and hereby is directed to post and publish a notice in the manner prescribed by law. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Further discussion on this resolution, board? Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole. Aye. LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, this brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, Is there any new business to come before the board this evening?
No, sir?
Again, seeing none, this is the second opportunity for public participation. I will toggle here between calls and emails, and while we're waiting just a moment, again, I'll remind everyone that the towns of Arundecoit, Penfield, Webster invite the public to join Stop the Violence Mission Collaborative March on Wednesday, July 28th at 6:15 North Ponds Park in Webster. This is sponsored by United in Healing Through Hope of Monroe County, and looking to take a stand against violence. All are welcome. Please come to North Ponds Park at 6:15. If you're unable to march and you want to just show up for the forum, please do so at 7 p.m. With that, and seeing no one from our audience or email, the July 21st, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board will stand adjourned at 7:45 p.m. And I'd like to thank everyone that participated this evening. I'd also like to thank PCTV, Brian, and either Dave, Amy, or Ryan downstairs. And thank you, as always. Be well and be safe.